Hello and welcome to another edition of Gamereactor Live. I'm Lee West and today we're going to check Dark Souls 2 and I've got Philip Lauritz Poulsen ready to die and die again,
Yeah.
I'm guessing, yeah. We're currently, since we're sending live, we're currently installing an update for the game. So we'll just wait a bit with getting into the gameplay.
Yeah, we'll try and give this update a go. It's giving us a bit of a hard time, but it should hopefully be working in a second.
I can see someone in the chat is asking if it's a demo version of or the full game, and it's the full game.
Yeah.
We're playing, and we're playing it on PS3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just
with a PS4 controller, as far as I can tell.
Exactly. This is what I did when I reviewed the game. I'll definitely recommend this for any PS4 owners thinking about going back to playing some PS3 games. You can hook up your PS4 controller with the wire, and it actually it works perfectly. The only button that doesn't seem to work is the PS button. So have a PS3 controller ready if you need to quit games and access menus and stuff. But otherwise, the PS4 controller works great. The touchpad obviously isn't turned on. But options become start, share becomes select, and otherwise it works.
And you prefer that controller because?
Well, it just feels better. I went back to play with a PS3 controller, and just the analog sticks made it feel weird. I mean, I've just gotten so used to kind of the resistances that are in the new controller, the new controller here. So
yeah,
that's why. All right, I can tell now we've had to skip the update. Because, I don't know, we were getting errors and we're never going to get around to it. So hopefully we can still access some of the network features, but otherwise we're going to have to do without them during this playthrough, which is too bad, but we'll see what happens. That is always the exciting thing about playing on debug machines and so on. It's
it is.
Not always.
I know you delivered the review of the game for EU and Norway, Portugal, Italy, and of course Denmark. And we're going to talk a bit about, you had some critique of the game and some stuff, and we had some reader comments and questions, and we're going to look into that as well while we're playing today. Yeah. But I think we should just get started.
Yeah, and, sure. All right, so as you can tell, we're playing in offline mode here because, again, the update wouldn't download and yada yada. So we'll have to do without the network features, but we'll explain them as we go. So we're going to go ahead here and start a new game, just so we can start completely from fresh and not this character that I had that I kind of ruined, I found out.
And of course, if you've never heard about Dark Souls, which we doubt, it's an action role-playing game from Software, and basically it's hardcore and it's tough as hell.
Really tough, but not unfair. That's the whole idea about the game. You don't ever feel like you're just being put into impossible situations. They're tough, and it's going to take a few tries usually to get past these obstacles. But once you do, it's the greatest satisfaction ever, which is also due to why the game is so popular, because really you do feel like you've accomplished something by beating.
And when you die, you feel like it's your own fault, basically.
Yeah, really. And it can be a very bitter experience. I mean, you lose all your points when you die, which are basically the end-all be-all of the game. They're your currency. They're what you use to level up. I managed to scrape up, I think, 45,000 points and died in a stupid way and was unable to retrieve them. So, yeah, I was lucky that the controller was wired, so it couldn't fly too far when I threw it across the room. All right, so we've got a bit of an intro here. Definitely a nice little CG intro.
It looks great. Can you tell a bit about what's the story?
Well, the story is kind of vague. We're getting it here a bit, but you're this mysterious person who's been cursed with the undead curse, which basically means that you slowly start turning into this hollow, which is basically a zombie almost. Okay. And a walking dead. And these hollows, they kind of lose their minds as well, and in the end they just kind of become these mindless warriors that fight everything around them that isn't also an undead of some kind.
All right.
So basically you travel to Dranlaic, which is the land that this whole game takes place in, to try and find a cure for your curse. to kind of avoid becoming one of these.
I'm going to ask a silly question here. Is that the same land that you see in Dark Souls and Demon Souls? Or
no, as far as I'm aware, it's not Dragon Lake. I think it's been explained that it takes place in the same universe as Dark Souls 1, but the story-wise, it has no connection.
Okay.
And I think Dragon Lake is supposed to be...
So new players can enjoy this as
exactly.
well.
You can jump in, no problem, never having played the game before. And especially this time around where they've added more features to make it more new player friendly.
Okay, more accessible.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, basically you travel to these lands, you don't exactly know why you've been attracted to come here, and you're certainly not the only one to do so. This is also the whole idea of where the network features come in. You're not alone. There are other people like you that are trying to find a cure for this curse. And when you play it, oh, here we go, it's going to ask for the update again, we're going to say no thanks. As you play it, you'll actually see, as in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, you will see the ghosts of other players around you kind of running around doing their thing. And players can help each other indirectly so that, I mean, you can leave notes on the ground warning other players that, hey, right around the corner here there's a trap, because you got killed by one earlier. You can also trick players. You can say, hey, there's a chest over there, go ahead, or jump here. And I've fallen for it. I mean, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but you can't fortunately rate other players' what's it called, notes. So you can kind of tell who's making sense and who isn't.
Ah.
And also, whenever
you said you could rate them, or couldn't.
Rate, yeah, you can rate them.
Okay,
yes,
great,
you can give them a point if you like it, or you can ignore. You can't give them take away points, but some people also think it's fun to kind of rate the funnier ones where you actually just find yourself jumping off a cliff.
Exactly.
I've done that too. So
I would probably end up doing that as well, going like, damn you, hey, that's fun.
Yeah,
let's give it a better score.
Yeah. So, and you can also keep track of your own notes this time around. There's a whole menu system. You can go in and check your former notes, what kind of scores that they've gotten, and so on.
All right.
And also, a different thing from Dark Souls 1 is, in Dark Souls 1, they removed the ability to add notes on the ground as much as you wanted, because I guess Demon Souls felt a bit spammed by these messages. But they've gone back to just allowing players to do it all the time. You don't need this usable item to do it. Before you needed soapstones to write, and they would like be used up whenever you did a note. So, okay, so here we go. The mysterious character wakes up here in this new land, not exactly knowing why they're there. Just knowing that they're trying to find a way to cure their...
Someone was asking, do you have to keep the DualShock 4 wired to play on a PS3?
Yeah, it needs to be wired, unfortunately. For some reason, I believe it's because the Bluetooth version on the DualShock 4 controller is newer than what the PS3 can handle.
All right, yeah.
So, but again, I mean, it's no problem. If you have a long enough wire, and these are pretty standard wires, so they don't cost a lot if you want to... All right, so here we go. Here's my character. You can kind of tell under the hood. I do have kind of an undead look going already.
Oh, yes.
So
don't look that healthy.
So here we go, starting to move through. Here's a new feature as well with this tall grass going on. During my review, I did mention that the graphics kind of disappointed. And I'll say also, I mean, one of the places where I kind of felt a bit disappointed was again with this grass here. It doesn't feel quite as good as it could. I mean, we've seen other games towards this part of the generation on PS3 that have handled grass a lot better. And also, we're not hearing any sound right now, but actually running through it, I hope the viewers are hearing some of it. It makes a very kind of weird noise running through it. It kind of breaks the immersion slightly, but...
But what, I mean, looking at it, I think from an artistic standpoint, it looks amazing. Already here, I mean, I feel like when you're looking at the light and stuff, if you look a bit up here, stuff like this is what makes this game stand out.
The lighting has gotten a lot better, and there's been a lot more focus on it in this game. Also, the fact that you can have a torch now that plays a bigger role, we'll get into that. But the part that I couldn't really get around with my mentioning the graphics is kind of the muddled textures that we're getting, and also as we move along, you'll notice more and more of these kind of weird, these weird texture things happening.
All right.
Again, it's not to say that the game has bad graphics, but it definitely doesn't kind of...
From a technical standpoint, it looks a bit old school.
Exactly. It doesn't quite hold up to what we've seen other games do in this generation towards the end of the console generation. So I was hoping for more, but...
Well, so when I look at it, I feel drawn into it. I mean...
The atmosphere is definitely there.
I think, yeah.
And I mean, it works. I mean, Borderlands also is a game that has a very special art style and so on. The graphics aren't necessarily great, but it works. Okay, so here we go. We got these little creatures running around now. We're gonna leave those guys alone because I've made the mistake before of trying to fight them. And
okay, and they don't attack if you don't attack them.
They don't attack.
Okay.
And actually, I've tried to come back a lot later to try and fight them, and they still beat me because what they do is they start ganging up on you. So it makes it very tough to fight them. So yeah, pro tip: ignore these little fellers in the beginning and move along. So now we're getting to a little door over here. Go ahead and check out what's going on inside. Yeah, it's gonna probably keep asking for this update throughout the playthrough, but bear with us. I'll make sure to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
What seems to be the ruckus? Oh my, your face. The face of the curse.
All right, so we're getting a bit more of the story.
They're betting on there will be a few deaths in this stream. Benk is saying, Philip did play very conservatively in Don't Starve, so I'd factored that into our betting. So,
well,
let's see.
Well, I will say during my playthrough for reviewing it, I did learn a lot also from my mistakes, because I did get a bit gung-ho sometimes, and I probably will again. And
that's one of the games where you shouldn't.
Exactly. Like when you're in that fight and you're on your last leg of stamina and you just need that one swing to kill the enemy, but you see his swing is going. Are you going to go for it, or are you going to back off like you should? And sometimes you go for it, but his swing still lands. And again, it's always your own fault when it happens.
And that's when you throw your controller.
Exactly. That's when it starts getting annoying. That's another tip I will give to with this game, in regards to this game. You do get a lot of points at certain sections of the game. Make sure to spend those points, because if they're spent, you're not losing the points when you die. So make sure to level up your character, spend the points on leveling up your character, get better gear, and keep your character going, because there's nothing worse than losing, again, like myself, 45,000 points that could have been spent on 5 levels or something. All right, so we're going to give ourselves a name here.
I recommend Swift.
Swift?
It's what I use for all games. I am so lazy, and if it's taken, I'll just add like Swift Storm or Swift something. It works. I mean, it works in the sci-fi setting. It works anywhere, you know. It's just like, hey.
Hopefully, I'll live up to the name
and now everybody's going to take that name from now on. So I have to change it. God damn it.
Ah, it's too late now.
It's too late. Yeah. We've decided on the mighty Swift.
This is not a democracy. Okay, so now we're starting to get into our character a bit, what kind of character we are. And here we go. This is an important item, the human effigy. This is the item that's that has replaced the humanity system of Dark Souls 1, where you would gain these humanity points for beating bosses and doing different things, helping other players. And spending this humanity brings you back to human form. This time around, it's these human effigies that can bring you back to human form.
And when being brought back to human form, what does that mean?
Well, again, all of the negative things that happen to your character, mainly your health goes down. Every time you die, your max health gets reduced.
All right.
So you get to a point where you're pretty much running around at 50% health. And it gets really tough to kind of fight through enemies because they will almost one-hit you. So you're going to have to spend some human effigy to bring it back up. Another point that's been discussed a lot, at least in the Danish review, is whether or not your stats are also affected. And I did promise I was going to try and recreate the circumstances here, because my experience was that when I was down to half health, a combo of a heavy attack and a light attack would almost kill an enemy with kind of a millimeter left on their health bar. Whereas when I used a human effigy and healed myself up completely, I could pull off a heavy and a light hit and they would die. So it did seem like it had an effect on my strength as well. Okay, so here we go. Now we're
Let's take a look at the body and face, just to show the viewers what you can actually do.
All right, so we have the gender here. We can make a male or a female. Let's go with male. Build, we've got a bit of different builds here as well. Make a big guy here, like that. Physique, strong, or this looks kind of funny actually. Let's go with that. And this
it looks awful. It looks like one of these oversized He-Man figures from the 80s.
Yeah, know? That's true. Make him big and chunky.
Or the re-release of the Star Wars collection items.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know? In the beginning, they all look like they were on steroids.
And the face also, again, can kind of, what kind of skin tone you want. Let's make him pale. Hair can also be changed up.
Are we really going to look at this buffed guy for the whole game?
We can change
it.
All right, let's make him a little less silly. Here we go, this guy. And then back to face, we'll just make him, actually let's just randomize him a bit. It's going to give us some options here. That looks good. All right, so this will be our guy. And now we're going to go into our class.
He's definitely seen too many manga movies. I mean, look at the hair.
So class-wise,
yeah.
I'll let it be up to you. What kind of class would you like? We've got the warrior, has high strength and dexterity and skilled with weapons. Go away. We have the knight, high hit points and adaptability. Adaptability is a new stat in the game that kind of determines if you're holding up a shield and you get hit, how knockback you get. Kind of your
all right.
And also other stats and effects, but it is the main thing it does there is kind of help you stand up against getting hit.
So your footing is improved here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Tough to take down. Then we got the swordsman. He's good at using a weapon in each hand. The bandit is more of a he's got a big. This is actually the character I played, and he's pretty good with axes and so on, but also good with the bow. Cleric is what's it called, a miracle guy, so mostly like healing spells and so on. Sorcerer is more the offensive spell caster. Explorer says not terribly powerful, but has many items, so I guess that's kind of his strength. And then we have the deprived, unclothed, origin unknown.
That's the hardcore setting, basically.
Basically, you start with nothing.
Hell.
And your stats, you can tell in the bottom right there, they're pretty much just level 1.
So that's even if you think you don't get punished enough.
Exactly,
this is
you
the
can go ahead and play as deprived. So I don't know if was there any class that kind of caught your eye?
I think the knight looks interesting, but well, let's give people half a minute in the chat, see if there's anyone who wants us to play a different class. And we're not going to go for the deprived, so don't suggest
don't even suggest the deprived. It's going to be a very, very frustrating live stream to watch.
I will just read a bit here and see if there's anything.
Yeah.
Someone is asking if it's a new graphics engine. Do you know that, actually?
I'm not sure if it's a new engine, but it's definitely been optimized. I mean, it does look better than Dark Souls 1 in many ways. Okay. I mean, the lighting
so
especially.
It's improved in a way.
It's very improved. Yeah. Let's leave this on screen for a sec, just to let people make up their minds.
Someone was suggesting Swift Lee. Yeah, but having my name, that doesn't work. No,
that's true, actually. You don't always want to put your real name out there. Also, another thing that the viewers might want to decide is whether what kind of gift that we should get.
All right.
Every time you start a new character, you have the option to kind of bring a gift, like a special item in. We have the life ring. Put that on, you have more hit points. An extra human effigy. Some healing wares, some healing crystals, and so on.
I personally think the life ring sounds
that's usually what I go for. I'm just going to go through them just for the sake of going through them. The homeward bone is going to allow you to go back to your checkpoint without losing any of your points, which is very good. And I found that out very late in the game. I was convinced that you would lose all your points by using it. So when you have a lot of points and you're kind of in a tricky situation, you can use that, go back, and kind of spend your points before moving back in. Seed of a Tree of Giants. This is a very contextual item to have. I haven't actually looked into it further, but you do find these trees, these giants that have turned into trees. Yeah. And I guess you could interact with them. Nothing happened when I did. I guess when you have this, you might be able to wake them or something.
That's cool. It sounds like depending on what you choose, you have a lot of replayability in the game.
Exactly. And it
pretty
also
cool.
does have a new Game Plus feature, apparently, so you can go back and kind of try it out with your new... Okay, here we have something that needs to be tossed into a bonfire to raise the strength of nearby foes, only for those who seek greater challenge. Again, a possibility of making the game even harder. And petrified something. It may be of some use someday. This is very typical From Software way of putting it.
Yeah.
They really do not hold your hand in this game when it comes to figuring out how things work. So again, like this thing might be able to...
That's like in the good old days. That's something I like about it.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have to go through some wikis and stuff to find out, and it might be a while before people figure it out. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it looks like some of the players are looking... we're being asked if there's a ninja class. No ninja class, but I guess the closest thing we can get to a ninja class would probably be either... Yeah, probably the swordsman, dual wielding.
We've got a couple that are asking for the sorcerer.
Okay.
Let's see. Some people are asking for explorer, yeah, well.
I'm thinking actually sorcerer.
More people are asking for the sorcerer. So
I think sorcerer would be
that
interesting
one.
too, because I haven't played that one. I played a purely melee class earlier with the barbarian, or sorry, the bandit. So sorcerer will also be interesting to try out something
Let's try that.
And gift-wise, I'm going to go ahead and decide here. I'm going to take
Someone
the
is saying Seed of Tree of Giants, but that's story. We're going to ignore that, aren't we? And go for more HP.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean,
we're a bit chicken.
I invite viewers to go ahead and try it if they get a hold of the game when it comes out on Friday. But
I like the style. I mean, even though the characters look a bit, the textures aren't that amazing.
Yeah,
it just have a great feeling. It doesn't look like every generic role-playing game, and that's something I like about it.
Yeah. Okay, so here we have some more advanced settings, but we're not going to go into those, where you can really specify each little bit of the character, nose 1, nose 2, and so on.
Yeah, 2 more is asking for sorcerer, so yeah.
Yeah,
sorcerer
so sorcerer it is. So finalize creation. Yes, this is my true self.
Someone is saying it's good that they're playing offline so they won't get invaded all the time.
Well, that would have been cool also to show how it works, because I wasn't able to make that part work during my playthrough for reviewing the game. Trying to invade others just left me with a message saying there were no worlds to invade, although I could clearly see other players. And leaving down marks to try and go and help others, nobody ever responded to those. So it seemed like it was switched off until release.
Yeah.
And that's also why there's probably this 1.01 update, just to switch that on.
Well, we can talk about some of the online features as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Later.
I mean, I've read up a lot on it, and it does have some really interesting things. Also, the way that they're using covenants this time around, which are these kind of groups that you join. They've always been around since Demon's Souls, and they kind of add features to the game. In Dark Souls, it did have this thing where if you were part of one covenant, you were able to invade more, or got more invaded, or so on. But this time around, they've made it very specific, kind of what they do.
Oh. Okay.
So, I mean, you have one covenant that kind of specializes in invading other players' games and killing them. You have to do that on your own first before you even are able to join that covenant. And then there's kind of this in-covenant leaderboard of who's the best at doing it. And they also get their own arena where they can go and train with others from the same covenant.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Then there's a covenant that's pretty interesting. I think they're called the Blue Sentinels. Their job is to do the opposite. Whenever a player gets invaded by a red player, or let's just call them that, they get invited in as a blue player, as sort of a bodyguard protecting the player. So suddenly you have 3 players going on in one game.
Great idea.
The owner, and then one trying to kill the owner, and one trying to protect him. And the protector also gets points for doing all this. There's all these different things going on. All right, so here we go. We've made our character. We're going to look around here a bit. Nothing in that chest. Again, a very good idea, as with any RPG, is to make sure you check upstairs. And here's a chest. I'm going to go ahead and open that. Pick up item. We got a human effigy. That's always good. Oh, should probably...
So I was asking you, what do you think of the combat in the game?
I think the combat is excellent. It's been really refined since Dark Souls 1, where I also thought it was pretty good. Like this time around, it feels a lot better, more fluent. The fact that you can change weapons on the fly so easily by just using the D-pad. And as you can tell here in my inventory, I have right weapon 1, left weapon 1, 2, and 3. So I can actually set up a whole combination of shield and sword, or
All right.
you can even have 2 shields if you wanted to.
So that's a much better menu system, basically, than the old games.
And it's a lot more. It's easier to kind of see what's going on. I feel also the explanations. Also, here's an item called Life Gem. I don't really know what it does. Hit select, and I get a nice little description here.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is the stat thing. But yeah, again, you get a stat idea, and here I can do. Yeah, again, I can go in and check it here, all the different things, and I can get a show item info. So that's one thing you're going to want to remember, though. When you press start, you get this menu thing up. It's very easy to forget that it's up when you're running around, and then when you try to hit, you're actually just kind of going between. That can be a bit frustrating. All right, but so far I have a dagger and
it might be a bit model textures or modded textures, but I mean the lightning. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks nice.
So we're gonna go ahead here. Make sure I don't. So here we go. The game begins. We're in this little tutorial area now, and first things first. Gonna light a bonfire. This is the checkpoint system. This is where these bonfires are gonna be very, very nice things to find around the place. When you're almost dead, you're trying to move on, and you find this bonfire.
You're going happy.
Because when you rest at the bonfire, you get full health. Your items repair fully, and
you can do that as much as you want.
Yeah, at a cost though, because every time you sit down at a bonfire, all enemies in the area respawn.
Ooh.
So you can't just go out and kill 5.
But at least you don't have, enemies respawning constantly. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. This is a new feature also where, what's it called? Enemies respawn a max of 15 times before they stop, and this is
even sitting at a bonfire, they won't respawn after 15 times.
No, exactly. You can go back at that point. It's obviously to make it easier because it can be annoying to kill the 5 same enemies.
I mean, 15 times is enough to please the hardcore gamers as well.
Yeah.
Without sacrificing too much.
And also at the same time, it's a way of avoiding people farming easy enemies to gain points over and over again.
Yeah.
And there is also a possibility, there is an item that can be burned at the bonfire that will respawn the enemies, kind of like the one that made them harder. There's also one, I haven't come by it, but it's in the game. Okay, so here we go. This is the tutorial area. And we have these little weird mist doors that people that have played the earlier Dark Souls will remember. So we're going to enter the mist here.
Well, there's actually someone saying, I got the game early, I've only played for about 2 hours. The only thing I actually have any complaints about is the removal of the lightning. There is, I've seen so far, really feels like when you switch off lightning effects in the developer console and such. Otherwise, great game, and I'm looking forward to further exploration.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and examine here. So this is very basic, you're learning here, R1 to attack. And you'll find these stones all over this area. We're going to skip through it fairly quickly to move on to the main game because it's not too interesting watching tutorial. But I'm just going to go ahead with it here in the beginning because, again, a sorcerer, a caster class is new to me.
Yeah.
So I lock on here with R3, and I can switch weapons. I'm going to go ahead and try and fire a soul arrow at this guy. That did nice damage. Again, I can tell that I have a limited amount of soul arrows in the top there.
Yeah.
Again, I can't switch that out. I don't think I have any other type of ammunition. Nope. So we're going to move on here. And again, the game has both a light attack and a heavy attack. So I'm going to go ahead and try and see what it does when it comes to spells with a heavy attack. Okay, so this is my melee attack. It's not too powerful, but it does the job.
Yeah, so even if we run out of
and when I use my L1, which is my left hand, this is not a two-handed weapon. If it's a two-handed, he'll usually block with it. But now I just have a free hand to punch with.
So could you equip a knife or something like that?
I could probably do that. I can go ahead and try. So I go into equipment. I remove the knife from here. I'll put it down here. Dagger.
Yeah.
There we go. And now I have a dagger in the other hand, so I can quickly stab. if they get up close. Again, because you'll notice in the top, underneath my health bar, there's a green bar, that's my stamina. And if that stamina hits 0, you're in trouble if you're a melee character, because one hit and you'll get knocked over, you're lying on the ground, rolling, and you're in trouble. Again, your stamina will also go down if you're shielding and the shield gets hit. So it's not good enough just to stand there behind your shield. Oh, we got one that's sneaking up on us here. There's also a roll system that also uses up stamina.
So far the control seems pretty fluid.
Very fluid, yeah. Oh yeah, see this guy down there. Another tip, avoid him. Because, yeah, I tried even towards the end of my review time, and he's tough. He can kill you in one hit by picking you up and eating you. So, all right, see, now there's also a kind of a sneak attack system. I don't know if I can pull it off here. Now, it'll probably have to be my main hand weapon, but it does have some nice animations when you have a proper weapon in your hands.
Oh, okay.
If you have a spear, you'll even like put them up on the spear and like impale them fully. All right, so moving on here. Also, these little things you'll find around the place are actually little fires you can light. If you light your torch at the bonfire, you can run around lighting these little things to kind of light up the surroundings. And also
as breadcrumbs, so you can see where you've been.
Exactly.
Basically.
But again, each torch has a 5-minute duration, and they're kind of far in between.
Of course.
So here's another item. Items are kind of symbolized by this glowing blue smoke.
All right.
Found another dagger. So we're just going to go ahead and check if it's a better dagger. Because again, here we have a kind of a nice system with blue and reds kind of
really
showing better or worse.
Yeah.
And again, if you're in doubt, press select and you get all the descriptions of the different stats. And another thing you want to be aware of is in the bottom right, above 120, which are the souls we've collected, you have a weight system. So there's also a limit of how much your character can be equipped with at one time. Over-equipping will make him slower and harder to...
But he can actually carry a lot more than 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be very slow,
yeah.
and you can't really dodge or anything. This is starting to get annoying. I might have to do something about that in a little bit. All right, so now we have a bowman here. We're gonna go ahead and, oh, see, there we go. I forgot about the start menu. So I was trying to shoot, and I was just switching between menu items.
Which is exactly what you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard, easy to forget. There we go. Again, here in the beginning, the enemies aren't too tough, except when they sneak up on you like that. This game is very good at doing these kind of moves as well, where you walk into a room, you think you're clear, and then suddenly there's an enemy behind you. And that's where those little notes on the ground are perfect, where they say, heads up, ambush ahead, or something like that, so you can actually prepare. Another network feature is if another player dies, they'll actually leave a pool of blood on the ground that you can go over and check, and you'll get kind of a replay of the last 5 seconds of the player's life to see kind of, did he walk in there and get killed by something?
Really a good idea.
Yeah. And they've had that since Demon's Souls, but it's still, it's a great way of kind of helping. So we're kind of flying blind here, not having it, but having played it. Oh, ouch. I should hopefully do all right. All right, so I need to watch out with this casting, because it does kind of freeze me in my steps.
Yeah.
Or like kind of hinder my movements. Another thing, you can tell at the bottom there, I have a life gem. That's a new feature of the game. It's kind of like a healing potion. Again, I just picked up another one. And I'll try and use one here. You hit square to use the item. And you'll notice my health starts regenerating quite fast.
Yeah.
Again, this is an item that you find quite a lot, and there's different sizes of them and different qualities of them, so some will heal you more than others as your stats go up and your health bar gets longer. There's also still the Estus flasks in the game from the first Dark Souls. The difference there is they're kind of healing potions that instantly heal you, and they refill every time you go to a bonfire. And they can also be upgraded to heal you more, you can carry more. But again, it's this whole, do you want to use a life gem that regens, or a flask that instantly heals you, but also kind of hinders your movement? Okay, so here we go. Move camera, that's a nice time to tell me that. I already knew that. See, here's another example of one of these little weird things that's from software. Do you come up to here?
You, give us food.
These things little.
Yes, you, give us Silky.
I mean, the voice acting in this game is questionable. I find, but it has its certain charm.
Give us Silky.
And it took me a long while to figure out what they were talking about. But there is an item in the game where it's called Smooth and Silky Stone, which is also a healing item. I picked up a few of them. I tried to bring them here, but I didn't figure out how to actually give them to them. I actually ended up just consuming them, which was slightly annoying. But all right, see now here, this is weird because I want to climb down the ladder, and I only have the option to kick the ladder down. He's not doing, oh well. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. It's because it was actually kind of almost like a fire ladder, so it wasn't hitting the ground completely. There's a, you can also sprint down there. Okay, so this is, again, the tutorial area. There's all these different rooms that'll teach you the different facets of the game, using bows, using spells, and so on. But we're just going to go ahead and move on to the main game. Here you can hear the grass I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's kind of this weird. So
Yeah, strange rustling noise.
Yeah. So we're sneaking through here. I don't remember if there's any enemies actually on the way. Hopefully not. Okay, and here we go. So this is where the lighting really starts to kick into gear. Coming through here. This is probably one of the brightest areas in a Dark Souls game I've ever experienced.
Yeah, I remember seeing, I think it was Thomas playing in this part, and that looked really nice. And bright compared.
Again, what we're getting to here is kind of the hub town of the game called Majula. And this is the town you'll be returning to every time you need to level up your character and every time you need to go visit the blacksmith and such things. So it's kind of like this nice little warm place to come back to. So here we go, here's the bonfire. Now it's lit, it's tagged, and again, a new feature is fast travel is available from the beginning. So if I wanted to, I could easily go back to things betwixt.
Oh, and quite easy to actually see.
Yeah, and again, each area has several checkpoints usually, so you'll go down there and you'll have more down at the bottom in some of the areas. There'll be several checkpoints for that area. Again, I'm not sure what the bonfire intensity level means. I think it's, again, another network feature. So I don't know exactly what that means, if it makes it more dangerous to go to or not. Another possibility here, I can light the torch. I'm not going to do that now because it's going to, again, lighting the torch is going to replace your left-hand weapon with the torch. So if you have a shield, you're going to have to sacrifice your shield for light. So it's a kind of a, would you rather have defense or light? Yeah. We'll go over here and talk.
This area got a bit of a Monster Hunter feeling to it. You know the game, yeah.
I'm familiar with the game, yeah.
That's one of the games I spent a lot of time on both the Wii and the 3DS. Actually,
yeah.
I didn't really
enjoy
the Wii U.
On PSP.
Oh yeah.
Monster Hunter Freedom Unite.
Oh yeah, I hated the controls on that one.
Yeah,
so,
it wasn't great. Yeah. So we got this green guy sitting over here, looking a bit down.
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door.
So he needs to help opening the door.
Is it just Philip being good, or is this game easier and better designed than the first one? I think it's you being awesome.
I'm awesome. Let's just say the game hasn't actually started yet. You see me play a bit of the tutorial. In a second, we'll move into the proper game. Okay, so this guy needs us to open the door. And it's locked, obviously. So we're looking for a key. Again, spoiler, this is the blacksmith, and this is his place. So to be able to use the blacksmith, you have to do this little mini quest in the beginning of the game. He can also upgrade your weaponry to make it a lot better. So
so he's a useful guy.
He's a very useful guy. Now we have some other things going on here. Just gonna go here and pick up this item if I can get in there. Just gonna destroy some of Another life gem. A thing I appreciate about the game, though, is that I haven't found any items hiding inside boxes or barrels that you can't really see from the smoke. So you're not actually going around spending forever killing every barrel you find just to see if there's an item, because that can get frustrating.
And it seems like you're actually being told what to do in the game as well.
Yeah. So we have this mysterious hole. We're going to avoid it for now, but you can kind of tell there's these little platforms you can try and jump down onto. It's a tough way down because it's easy to miscalculate and just fall down. But there's some interesting stuff going on down there I'll explain later. So
it seems like there's a lot of stuff that makes you go like, I wonder what this is.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool.
And there's definitely also like ways that are blocked and other ways of, okay, there's a thing in my way here. How can I fix this? And then when you find the item, you're going to have to think about it a bit. It's like, oh yeah, of course, this item is what I need to kind of move on. This monument up here is pretty interesting as well. When I reviewed it, I was connected to the network, so I had the features. That you can go up to it and you can read on the plaque, and it actually keeps track of how many deaths have been in the game so far. When I checked it during the review period, it was up to around 7,600 and some. Apparently, according to some sites, 24 hours after its US release, it's way above 2 million. So. Okay, so we're going to go ahead to the first area here. I know where it is, having played it. It's down here. Again, like I also explained in my review, it's the first Dark Souls, you were kind of left on your own trying to figure out which path to take to go to the first area. And the first many times I went to these skeletons that were just way too hard to kill. And I kept trying, I couldn't figure it out until I found out there was another way. This time around, they've kind of blocked off those paths where you need an item to move on. So it's easier to figure out where you need to go.
I can't remember which score did you grade the game?
This game?
Yeah, this one.
I gave it an 8.
Okay.
Again, I would have given it a 9 if it hadn't been for the graphics not being, like, again, they're not ugly, but I was expecting more for a sequel. I mean, the jump from Dark Souls 1 to 2...
So it meant something to you?
Exactly, it did. I was hoping for more, especially seeing some of the screenshots that have been released. I believe now that those screenshots must be from the PC version that we're going to see it coming out later in the month.
So that might be in your opinion, deserving of a 9 because the gameplay seems to be top-notch.
If it lives up to the screenshots I've seen, it would definitely give it that extra score. Again,
but I think some of our sites gave the console version a 9 as well. So,
yeah.
But I mean, it's got amazing reviews on if you just go to Metacritic and take a look. Yeah. I mean, it's 8 and 9 and 10 all over the place, and that's nice to see for something that isn't, well, it isn't a popular blockbuster AAA title.
No, exactly. It's kind of
and that's nice to see that people still appreciate this kind of old school gameplay.
Yeah, it's really, and I also really like this game. I'm definitely going to be playing it. Okay, this is starting to get a bit silly. I'm just checking. Do we have any PS3 controllers that are hooked up? Yeah, I'm just see if...
You want to install?
Yeah, it's just because I'm thinking maybe I can turn off the network features. We'll see what happens. It's just
either that or we stop mentioning it every time.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to cross this bridge here, and again, another example of these little mean things that the developers do. There's this little area down here. You're going to have to kind of watch your step here. So it can be quite annoying falling off. I'm going to go ahead and open.
What happens if you fall off?
You die.
Ah, of course.
So we're going to, another human FG, yeah, because you do have this water here that is kind of bottomless. You can't see the bottom of it. You'll just sink. But over there, you can kind of tell there's it's a bit more shallow, so you can actually walk there. And I made the mistake first time being here. Oh, there's an item. Walk right off the edge.
Oh.
And there's actually a gap there.
Yeah.
So there's another way to get there. I'll show you in a sec. But they do these things again where they kind of trick you. It's like, oh, look what's over here. And you just kind of walk off an edge because you think.
So you need to pay attention.
Yeah. All right, we're good here. Moving along. Okay, so now it begins.
How big is the world, or the world compared to this one?
The developers have said twice as big, and I would actually say they're just about right. I mean, there's so much stuff going on in the game, and the fact that it's not a linear game anymore, you can very much take different paths. Sometimes you're going to have to leave an area, like a boss, because he's too tough to go check out another area, upgrade your character, and then come back to him. So you find yourself kind of moving around the areas a lot. And that fast travel list that you saw before with the boxes, that's page 1 out of page 2, and that's just areas. And then you have all the checkpoints in between. So there's a lot of areas to check out. And they're all very different in the feeling and kind of how they are. Now we're in kind of a forest area. There's also these underground areas. And so here we go. I just went under the waterfall here and found that item I saw before. Homeward Bone and Soul of a Lost Undead. Again, you'll find these souls of lost undead and valiant knights and so on. It's again something that's been in the previous games. And they're basically these consumable items that give you a lot of souls. You don't lose them when you die, so it's good to hold on to them until you need the souls for it. And
of course.
they give you sometimes upwards of 10,000 souls. Okay, so here we go. We have some enemies down here.
Betwixt must be the strangest name ever.
Okay. So it's definitely a different experience playing with a caster this time around than a melee character having to kind of time your attacks. Seems slightly easier, but again, I have a limited amount of arrows here, or soul arrows as they're called. But I noticed something before as well. Resting at the bonfire seems to replenish my soul arrows. I'm going to go ahead, because there's a fire up here, just to tag the checkpoint. I mean, tagging it as a checkpoint now, nothing happens. But if I sit down to rest, you'll notice this kind of smoke happening. And when I get back up, yeah, I have full soul arrows, and the enemies I just killed are back.
Yes.
So, I'm going to go ahead and kill them.
And that's the thing that could happen 15 times.
Yeah, exactly. I could go back there, revive them, and do this 15 times over if I wanted to. But it's not terribly exciting, and it's not terribly worth it, seeing as I'm only getting a few souls. Alright, this is definitely a bit easier than it was with the melee character here, because I do have this guy shooting arrows at me, and he was quite annoying while fighting others. Again,
but then again, you've got 21 soul arrows left, so I mean, it's
exactly.
not going to last forever.
Nope.
Knife the bastard.
See, there we go. Yeah, he kind of put me in a bit of a stun there, so I lost a lot of health. And he's... Oh, get away. See, my stamina was down there, so I couldn't pull off another attack. There. Whew.
The combat seems really fluid this time around.
Yeah, really. You're moving around, you're dodging, you're... again, if I had a shield, I would be blocking, doing all these different things. Another thing that they like to do is to kind of trick you. You got a guy lying here.
Oh, yeah.
So again, watch your step. If you find bodies on the ground, don't ignore them. Try and check if they're actually dead, because otherwise suddenly you'll be ambushed. Alright, so we got some nice souls here. Let's move along. So I'm just going to consume a life gem, just to make sure, because up here it might be a little tough for a caster. Again, because obviously being a caster, I do best keeping the enemies at a distance, but that can be tough. Ooh, ouch. Oh, wrong button.
And in case you just joined, we are playing Dark Souls 2 on the PS3, and I'm Lee West, and this is Philip Poulsen, and he's done the review that's been used in EU and Denmark, Norway, Italy, Portugal, and of course Denmark if you want to read it in Danish or any of the other languages. And of course we've got a review of Dark Souls up on all the sites anyways.
Yeah.
And it will probably be part of the printed magazine, which is out in Germany and England, Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. And that magazine should be out in about a week or so. And of course, it's free to pick up in all the stores. Or at least all the usual stores, I should say. So don't go to your grocery shop.
No, it might be tough to find it in at your butcher shop. Okay, so I got this guy up here shooting arrows at me. He's kind of annoying because he's a bit out of my reach when it comes to my soul arrows. If I had had a normal bow and arrow, I think I could have gotten him. But I'm gonna go around this little side way, see if I can't get up to him and get rid of him.
You don't have any kind of map, mini-map, do you?
No mini-map, no.
No.
Okay, so here again is an example.
You can't pick anything up, like maps.
No, I haven't seen
That's
any.
one of the things that they should let players draw, and they could put down a map, you know, once in a while.
That'd
That
be
would
kind of
pretty
cool.
And of course, they could totally screw you on that as well.
Now also,
This looks like a cliff, but you can easily walk there.
you'll also notice there's actually a durability system. If you look underneath my dagger, it's kind of halfway, and hitting walls especially will drain its durability. So you're gonna want to watch.
And how
out
do we
as well.
fix that? The blacksmith?
The blacksmith will fix it, but also every time you sit down at a bonfire, it fully heals. You only really need the blacksmith if the item hits 0.
Okay,
Then
cool.
it's broken and you have to go back and
I hate
fix it.
durability in games.
Yeah.
I really
Again,
despise it.
playing it was never really an issue.
All right.
I never really noticed any items kind of dying because I came across bonfires often enough, or should I say I died often enough for the item not to break. So, moving on here. Ah, there he is. A little tight maneuvering here, avoiding his arrows. Come on.
And Adu is asking, how's the controls compared to DS1? I think we've talked a bit about that.
Yeah,
but you
they're
could recap.
definitely better. They feel way more fluid, way more responsive. Another thing, speaking of the controls, another feature is in Dark Souls 1 it was possible to do a jump, but it was kind of tricky. I never actually got around to figuring it out properly, but it was something like a sprint and double tap and something. This time around they've made it pretty simple now that I need it all so I can show it. While you sprint, you can tap down L3 and it will do a nice little jump.
All right.
So it's gotten a lot easier to kind of cross those little gaps. All right, let me just check my inventory quickly because it seemed like I picked up some gear, like a helmet.
What do you think about the frame rate? I can't really. I mean, it doesn't drop, it seems, but
No,
but
frame rate wise, it's a pretty steady game. But as I wrote in my review, there's definitely times when it drops. I will also point it out when it should happen because I tried. I managed to make it happen over and over again at this one specific area.
Okay.
And it's not the only area that does it.
But it seems to be pretty steady above 30 frames per second or something like that.
Playing through it just normally, it's a pretty steady frame rate. So I got some gloves. Oh, I got some more.
And JHP is asking, what do you like more, Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2?
Dark Souls 2, for sure.
All right.
It's the new features that have been introduced make the game a lot better, a lot more fun, and without making the game too easy at the same time, I should say, because that was a big fear.
An important aspect for a lot of players, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, I think, and unplug the PlayStation from the network, because then it shouldn't be told that there is an update.
Yes.
Because this could spell trouble if we're in the middle of a boss fight and it decides to tell us there's an update.
So no frame rate problems like in DS1's Blighttown?
No, those problems have gone away. And again, my mentioning of the frame rate in the review is in isolated incidents.
On Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay, yeah, the genius me, it's on Wi-Fi. Then I just need to do this quickly.
So again, the frame rate? You're saying there's no issues like in Blighttown?
No, it's isolated incidents where we have the frame rate issues. Do we have a cable for this so we can hook it up to? Is it connected? Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and play a bit if you can.
And Les is writing PC 60 frames per second and consoles 30, so let's...
Yeah, that sounds...
that sounds all right.
And again, 30 is not bad.
And the stream we're doing here is the 25 frames per second. So if you're really hardcore, you might be able to see it. But that's how we live stream and doing the compression.
Yeah, so again, it's not necessarily what you're seeing in the live stream here is not the true frame rate. Okay, so we got rid of those guys up there. Now here's another example of what Dark Souls games and Demon Souls games do. Basically, we have this guy sitting here, not really saying anything. I can't really talk to him. And that's because he is... Does he have an arrow in his head? It looks like it. Yeah. Basically, he's one of these little optional bosses that you'll come across. So if I pick a fight with this guy, I don't know if it's going to go well. I'm tempted to try just to see whether or not... Or maybe we should just disconnect the... If you can just go ahead and press the PS button there. And yeah. Just say internet connection and then off, I guess. If you go one down there and just...
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. Okay. They can't.
Let's skip it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
We're going to live with this. We are sorry that you'll have to see
an update.
There's an update ready once in a while, but I mean we can't do much about it right now.
All right, but I'm gonna go try and take out this guy. It's probably not gonna go well, so you'll probably see your first death in this playthrough.
So you're adding 1 to the 2 million plus something.
Exactly, and I mean I have 1,000 souls on me now. It's okay. It's not a huge amount. Again, I'm able to salvage those souls when I come back. I can pick the souls up again, but it only saves 1 instance of souls on the ground, which means if I die on my way there, those souls are gone, and the new set of souls.
Snap.
Okay, so here we go. Ooh, I did okay damage there, but he's tough, I know. Ooh.
He looks amazing.
And he hurts.
He looks really like he's dead, you know.
Might be doing a lot better against. Oh,
just whoa.
I might be doing better with this caster than I did with my bandit character. Again.
Yeah, it seems like kiting is the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. This guy, I know it's weird he's not pulling off because I do know that he has kind of a rush attack where he kind of just gets all up in your face in one move. He hasn't pulled it off, which means, boom, I win. So that's interesting, actually, because I know Dark Souls, or sorry, Demon Souls got critiqued for having the caster class being a bit too easy of a class, which they then addressed in Dark Souls. Again, it's too early to say if this class is too easy. I mean, it took me a long while before I even approached this guy with my bandit class. I guess it's just because it's different. I mean, I have 5 soul arrows left, so I guess proper boss fights will get tougher. And okay, so here again, we have an example of kind of
branching
options.
Ways,
yeah. This is not a huge branching though, but it is just a way of kind of. I think I'm gonna try and
probably
shoot
start
this guy.
to save your soul arrows.
Yeah, I just knew that there's more than one guy in here, so.
Oh yeah.
Although
that's
one
what
of
you were
them
talking
left
about, the sneaking around, you know. You can't see the other guy and then suddenly he's there.
I don't know where the third guy went. He
oh,
just ran
didn't
off.
you get a sword? Was that a one hand? You just picked some loot up from the boss.
Yeah, exactly. And I also have some foot
Might
soldier.
be worth changing the dagger if you're going to.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to do something different. Oh, did he die? Good. Yeah, again, that's another thing. There's no pause in this game, so you're going to want to make sure that all the enemies are dead, because when you bring up this menu, you're kind of vulnerable.
Oh.
But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take one of these swords. See which one is best. I'm going to try and equip this one first. Ah, okay, yes, you're unable to use this item effectively.
Of course.
Because when you look at it, at the bottom, it'll actually tell you what stats you need. You need 7 strength and 10 dexterity for this one. This one here I can handle. This one I can't. So, okay, I only have one of the swords I can handle, really. But that also means now I have that, so I can actually switch that out in this hand. Also, it's possible by hitting triangle, you can make your right-handed sword two-handed. And it kind of opens up for more combinations and stronger attacks.
Clever.
And you can also block with it. So I think I'm going to go with this for a little while.
So you're going melee as a sorcerer. That sounds like a winning combination.
Again, while you block, your stamina regenerates slower.
All right.
So you're going to kind of have to leave yourself open every once in a while. I actually wonder if I two-hand this one, if it becomes kind of a... Yeah, now I can block with it. That's actually...
Yeah.
Let's see, here we have another area out here I can't get to from here, but soon. Okay, here's another example. If you see an enemy up there, you're slowly approaching, but if you don't pay attention, you've got another enemy standing right up there waiting for you. Out, and got one shooting arrows, and this guy up here. So, see if I can target him. Yeah, there we go, we got him targeted. I'm gonna have to use some soul arrows on him. There we go.
But you could have fought him with melee when he fell down. You need to save them, you've got like 2 left. Oh, whoa.
Life gem. Yeah, but the thing is, I know something. Alright, bring it.
I know the viewers are just waiting for you to die. Just going, come on, die.
Okay, looks clear. And yeah, another guy waiting for us right there. Again, a lot of the fights with these kind of more basic enemies, and even the more advanced ones, it's all about timing, learning their moves. So when you see him go for that attack, just let him go through and just come in afterwards for the kill. Ooh, so we got actually a shield. That might be a nice item to equip if I have the strength for it. I can't equip it.
Wow.
Or rather, I can equip it, but it'll have reduced stats because I don't have the necessary...
All right.
So at this low level, it's probably just pretty much useless. So we're going to climb this.
I think one thing that this game does that I liked about Skyrim as well is it makes you feel like you really want to explore.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's real buildings and it's interesting stuff, you know, it's not just kind of random generated stuff and walls placed, you know, in loops. It feels like it's actually places that could have been built like this.
Yeah, it was really well done. Okay, so here we go. Another bonfire, which is why I wasn't too worried about the arrows. This is probably the bonfire during my review time that I spent the most time at returning to, at least. And here we have a little shopkeeper who's quite desperate to sell. So let's skip the dialogue here. So again, here you can kind of see some of the items that are for sale. We have weapons, armor, and consumables. Here you go. There's some human effigies for sale there, which is, again, you can actually just buy these. But they're not cheap. It's 1,500 for one.
True, yeah.
So we also have these special items, like here we go, Leningrad key, the blacksmith's key. We're going to go ahead and pick that up. Also, this Pharaoh's lockstone is a recurring item that you can buy from different vendors. And basically, you'll find these items around the world that you can put them into, and they'll reveal secret areas with some chests or so on. So they're also pretty good, but again, they're expensive. You're going to want to go back and buy that once you have a lot of cash to spend.
Of course.
And we have all this other stuff. Throwing knives are pretty good, especially for melee characters. If you don't have anything ranged, they do quite a lot of damage.
And for you when you run out of
of arrows. But again, these throwing knives are cheap, and you find them quite often in the beginning of the game, so I'm not going to spend any money on them right now.
And the last one is the map, or what's it? Next to the potion up there.
These are spells.
Spells.
Soul arrows and a heal, which costs, it has 3 uses, but it has a requirement of, let's see, what is it down here? Faith. It needs more faith. And again, you have a number of slots, how many spells you can have equipped at any one time, and so on. We're going to take a look at that now, because I've got 3,600 points here saved up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the smart thing and return to Majula and spend some of those points on some better stats. So Majula, Farfire. Again, doing this, all the enemies I've slain up to this point are back. So I can go back and kill them if I want to, or I can jump right back to this and continue my journey.
And still, when you fast travel, they will only respawn 15 times?
Yeah, every time you touch that fire, or you die.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Those are the Titanite shards you use to upgrade your gear with. You find those around the world as well. So I need to talk to this specific person in town. I'm going to go ahead first and unlock Leningrad's.
Can every character use 2 swords at the same time, or is it only one class? Do you know that?
Every class can do it, but not every class can do it well. It's again, you know, swords are heavy. Do you have the skills?
I can see, yeah.
The skills and everything to do it, and so yeah, that's basically the idea. That the swordman is specialized in using 2 swords, so he's probably going to be able to equip the best ones. Again, all those things, the classes are kind of based on your starting gear and your stats at the beginning of the game. If you make a deprived character, you can make, again, that might be why a deprived character is popular, because you have complete openness. You don't have any points spent in something you might not want.
Yeah.
He starts completely at level 1.
So he's tough at leveling up, but he's got a lot more options open. Basically.
Exactly, he's more customizable. I'm just going to go ahead up here because I'm actually looking for a specific character whom I need to talk to. Oh, there she is. So this is very much like Demon Souls in that you have to talk to this one specific character to level up and do all these things. In Dark Souls, you were able to do this stuff at the bonfires. I'm not sure why they returned to this system. Some people find it slightly annoying, but I think it's fine. I mean, once in a while, being able to return to Majula, kind of calm down a bit, assess your situation.
Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
And here we go. She's giving us a very important item here as well. Our Estus Flask, which is our healing item.
Go on and see the king.
My brother is saying, I hate you guys. Already bought it for my PC. Now because I see you play it, I need it for my PS3. Can't bloody wait.
King Vendrick.
Giving a bit of story here. Basically, we want to get a hold of this King Vendrick character. And to do so, I need to become stronger.
Oh.
So, basically, play the game.
Seek misery. For misery
And she always gives us a little...
It looks like an old oil painting almost in the background.
Oh yeah,
I actually like that. Those textures here.
Seek those whose names are unutterable.
Looks quite amazing.
Yeah. Again, another From Software thing. Never stop talking to a character until they start repeating themselves over and over, because they usually have more to say or more to do, and suddenly they'll actually be. It will be possible to access menus where they'll sell you stuff. Or there you go. See, it took a couple of tries to get this.
Of course, yeah.
So I have the option here to level up. And here we have the different stats.
Tons of stats.
Yeah. And again, it's nicely marked out. You can kind of see marked out on the right side what it affects. Yeah,
that's actually pretty clever. Because
and again, if I upgrade, what is this? Attunement. If I put a point in there, I'll have 2 slots for spells. I'll have quicker cast speed and more HP. HP always goes up every level. And next level costs 901, so I can even go further. But I think I'm going to put 1 point into attunement so I can have 2 spells. And faith seems to be a pretty important one to do healing and such, and also ups my cast speed. I'll put 2 points, or actually maybe, let's just see.
I really like this system. I mean, there's tons of numbers here, but it looks, I mean, it's easy to see what you are actually doing and what it means.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I'm going to skip faith here and actually put it into intelligence instead, because that's proficiency in sorceries. Whereas this faith is more for healing, the cleric style things.
All right. Yeah.
So I'm going to go more for the damage dealer here. So I get bonus fire damage, magic damage. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this right now.
And again, do you feel this game, someone is asking here, is this game harder than DS1? I think you said in some ways and in other ways.
I definitely had a harder time. I mean, I'm kind of blowing through it right now because I've played it quite a lot at home. I know where the enemies are hiding and stuff, especially in this beginning area. But it took me a lot longer to get further in this game than it did in the first Dark Souls. And even though it's more accessible, it makes it's easier to kind of tell what you're doing. It's really...
So it definitely hasn't lost the challenge?
Oh no, not at all. So I'm running up here because I thought I saw some blue glow up here as if there was an item.
What's that up in the tree?
The tree?
Oh, it was just, okay.
It's just a piece of
cloth.
Okay. Yeah. Might have just been my imagination. Okay, but now I've boosted the my soul arrow attacks, and I also have another slot for another ability, another magic ability. Again, I think we're gonna have to move a bit further in the game because again, you meet more and more characters as you progress through the game, and the person that teaches you magic is quite a ways further along. I'm not sure if we're actually going to get to meet that character. Actually, I'm doing something very silly here. I'm running my way back to where I was instead of just fast traveling.
Instead of using the fast travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, old habits.
Yeah, exactly. Let's sprint a bit.
I think in case anyone is wondering what we're going or what we have planned to live stream in the future, I know we're going to do within the next week or so, we're going to take a look at MOBAs, as a new one as well. Going to play Titanfall on the PC. We're going to play Infamous Second Son, of course. And that's a bit of what we've got in store. But we are live streaming every day from 1600 to 1800 Central European Time. And that's all weekdays. So if you've got any suggestions for stuff you'd like to see as well, you're welcome to email us or actually just write it in chat and we'll probably take a look at it. But back to Dark Souls.
Back to Dark Souls, back to the killing here, or being killed probably. So we're back at the bonfire and we're moving on. So next area we're going to go into is we're going to climb down this little ladder here.
I like that sliding thing.
Again, we have some enemies.
I feel like a fireman.
Or that
should be firefighter, shouldn't it? But yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. I knew he was there. I was hoping that I wouldn't move over there to him, but...
I can see the timing has a lot to say.
Yeah, exactly. And if you go too crazy, you... Ow. Ooh, first death. Again, I didn't have a block. So...
Whoa.
Oh, I think I just unblocked.
So we got, but we're 1 hour and 15 minutes into the stream, and that's our first death. So...
And
I mean, I know we've done the tutorial and everything, but yeah.
It begins. Okay, so now you'll also notice here a slight change in slight load up here in my character.
In which way?
Well, you'll see in a second my health bar will have changed in that I won't have as much max health, but also my character model, if the game will actually finish loading. There we go. Now, if we take a look at my character model, I look slightly less human now.
Oh.
And as the deaths kind of accumulate, you'll start looking more and more undead. So that's a nice little touch.
Indeed.
Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and use some of this newfound power on these guys, because they're tough.
I will let you play a bit, be back in a few minutes.
Okay. And here we go over there, we have a little blue cloud. That's my the place where I died earlier. So I can go and pick up my souls from before. Ah, he survived that. And make him get a little bit closer and whack. Okay, so I'm gonna two-hand this sword, then I can block. Run over, grab the retrieval here. Again, you'll notice I also do take damage while blocking, and you need to up your stats kind of to avoid taking this damage. Also, shields help a lot there. And different shields have different percentages of damage that they kind of block. See this guy here, being sneaky. Huh. Just wanna, there we go. Probably lock onto him. Oop, gotta watch out. Oh, there you go. Second death already. Alright, let's see if I can't do a bit better. I'm starting to take it a bit too easy on them now. But what's interesting about the game is also that it's definitely possible to die from simple enemies and not just bosses that are tough. One wrong step, just playing normally, going through the same area over and over, and again, looking slightly more undead. My health bar is slightly damaged. Again, the health bar can get down to 50%, no further down. So don't worry too much about it. You won't get down to the point where you only have 1 hit point. All right, get that hit in there. I'm gonna go for this guy as well. Just gonna go grab these quickly before this guy gets up. Oh, and I'm gonna shoot him real quick just to make the fight slightly easier. Oh, this guy's tough. Got me again. So yeah, there's definitely a feeling here of the caster having trouble in kind of closer combat, because I did not have this hard a time with my melee character here, which is good, because then it means it's not too easy to play. All right. Load times are a bit long at this point here. I'm not exactly sure why. They're not usually this long. It might be a thing with the network again. It's trying to connect. All right, try again. It's kind of the mantra of the game. All right, I'm always that little bit.
Did you die again?
I died twice since you've left.
Twice? So 3 times in total?
Yeah. There's this one guy in this area here who keeps getting me.
So the caster is starting to show its weakness?
Exactly. It's definitely, I'm having a tough time down here in the closer areas. Gonna go ahead and use a life gem here, because otherwise I'm going to have trouble. But it's over on the other side there that I...
So he might not be the, perfect class.
He's not,
that's where
exactly, and I think that's a good thing, because otherwise it would be an unbalanced game, which is what you don't want to have. But yeah, this guy here, pretending to sleep. Oh, I got him that time because I got him to get up with his back turned.
Yeah.
All right, so he has an item.
Gave you a few seconds.
A firebomb. Okay, I'm going to go into my inventory now and start putting some of these things. My Estus flask is good to keep there, because again, it's a quick way of healing, and it replenishes every time, so you don't actually waste an item, or if you want to say that. Let's see. I got a luck boost. I got this firebomb, which is kind of this grenade you can throw, and also a witching urn, which is a magic grenade, if you want to call it that. So again, they're good to have in case of emergencies. All right, just gonna see what happens if I press X here. It's probably gonna give us an error again.
Someone's writing, pick up the wand again. Phil, did I miss something?
The wand.
No idea.
No idea. Yeah.
I'll just ignore it.
What happened? Ah, we got booted out. Okay, well at least there's an autosave feature.
And let's hope so we don't have to fight the same 3 guys again where you die.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, but I got him now. I got him.
But then again, people are watching this stream to see us die,
and we're
it's about
determined to
time.
leave you satisfied.
Yeah.
I died so hard that I got booted out to the menu.
And again, someone is asking to the frames per second, and it should be 60 on the PC and about 30 on the consoles, and we're streaming with 25 frames per second here.
Yeah.
But how is it compared to Dark Souls 1?
Better, way better.
Right.
There was entire areas of Dark Souls 1 that was almost unplayable due to the frame rate issues. Again, Blighttown was mentioned in the chat earlier, where it had this constant kind of fog going on, and the PS3 just couldn't cope with that much going on particle-wise. So I'm going to say continue. So we're going to continue with Swift here, level 14.
Unless you're safe, the level 50 guy.
Yeah, with a 31-hour play time.
We could, of course, take a quick look at that before ending the stream.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got half an hour left or a little more. So,
yeah,
so
I'm just going to try and get to the next checkpoint here, and then we can go back. Because again, I would like to test out that whole theory about the stats reducing when you die.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because it has been kind of a discussed subject. Oh, actually, this is a surprise. It actually saved exactly where.
Oh, but that's the. Didn't you pick some revival stuff up here? Actually, that might be why.
No.
Okay.
It's usually only at the. I guess the game does have kind of a failsafe. If the power cuts out or something, you're not left having to start over if you've gotten further than I have, which is nice. Which is definitely a welcome feature. Because if I went into the menu and selected quit game and it saved and everything, then. Okay, so we're moving on here, and again. I've played the game before, so I know exactly about this guy. If I could hit him. Again, the targeting system can be tough, especially because you can't target them before they've kind of been initiated if they're hiding.
Of course, yeah.
So there we go. And here comes the area that was the bane of my review playthrough. So we got characters all over the place here.
Oh, and the firing arrows. Or
yeah, exactly. You got arrows being shot at you.
But you've got 27 soul arrows this time, so you should be a bit better off. Unless
I'm going to try and do a sneak attack on this guy. Yeah. Wow. Again, my melee character usually kills him.
Yeah.
But we're going to... I'm going to just watch my back here because there are sometimes characters that come up that are kind of standing down there that see me. Huh, I guess they're not coming this way. Alright, here we go. We got a guy up there as well. I'm going to take him out with.
I like the whole placement of characters. I mean... Some of them are really well hidden, you know.
Exactly, and that guy can be a real bitch because he throws firebombs at you, and he throws them quite often. So you kind of run. If you're a melee character, you kind of run around trying to dodge those, and you have to climb up this little ladder to get to him. Now this is going to be interesting because when I played through this the first time, something happened here. I'm going to see if it happens again because it only happened once. Yeah, look at this. We've got this bird flying in. It flies over this way, and boom, we've got this guy, who I'm going to run away from now. Because see, now that I've jumped down here, he's not really following me, and now he slowly disappears into the ground. And during my first playthrough, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll come back here and try and fight him another time. He never shows up here again.
Oh.
However, he does show up in another place. I recognize him. He does get dropped by the bird at a point where you can actually fight him. Or actually, rather, I had to avoid going his direction, go another way, get a better character. And when I felt ready, I was like, all right, now I can take him. And it was still a tough fight because it was all about learning his kind of moving forward quickly attack. You got to dodge that, then attack him, and then move away. It's a very much a kind of almost rock, paper, scissors kind of game where you have to...
Great. So it feels like a good boss fight.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't too easy. It wasn't too... it was tough, but it was possible. And there was a lot of deaths where I got close to beating him. Oh, I should probably heal up here. Now, these characters here that carry shields, you got to watch out for those, because... Yeah, see, that shield is quite effective.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But again, if you can get him to do an attack, avoid it, and then counter. Again, what my character that I made was not too good at was parrying, which is also a feature in the game, which you can see I'm kind of doing there. So you can actually kind of push their sword out of the way and go in for the counter. I would try it with this character, but I take it that once I've pushed his sword out of the way, I don't have much to counter with. I can slap him, I guess, but it's probably going to end up with me getting more hurt than him.
She will counter it with a smile.
Again, here was an example of kind of players helping each other out. There was a note here when I played through it that said, attack barrels, watch out for fire. And it was weird because I attacked them with a normal attack and they just kind of broke. But when I came back at another point, I did a heavy attack. And the barrels exploded. I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can't do that again. Oh yeah, I didn't remember the fire bombs. Oh, actually, I'm going to put Estus Flask, fire bomb, magic bomb. I'm going to go ahead and spend a fire bomb here because actually... It blows the little hole, and look at where we're at. We're back at the bonfire. So this is a nice little, now I have a shortcut to get straight back there. I don't have to go down and fight the same three guys.
That's a good tip also.
Yeah. Again, I did it with a melee character, so he took quite a bit of damage when it happened. I got quite annoyed until I saw that the bonfire was right there. But again, we have respawns now. So I kind of want to get this guy up here. Oh wait, I've probably triggered this guy down here now, yeah. See if I can pull him in here. Have a bit more room to maneuver. Okay, this guy there. It seems all right. Again, with the amount of ammunition I'm giving with the caster class here, it doesn't feel like I can just kind of go through too easily. I can't rely 100% on my magic arrows here, but they're not useless either. And I'm kind of going nuts with them right now just because.
I see Naka is saying, love the first game, but the graphics do not look like it has been updated. And that's probably a bit, well, you said it looked better, but still, you were disappointed that it didn't look that much better.
Yeah, resolution-wise, I don't see a huge improvement, but effects-wise, it has had an improvement. So we got him here.
I don't know, backstabs in this game is Indian Copan.
Yeah, there are, and I performed one earlier as well. I don't know if he missed it, but on these guys, they're quite powerful. Again, my character here not being a melee character, it didn't do.
It doesn't really show.
No, but he does do a whole animation where he puts them down to their knees, and
that's basically what you did on top here.
Exactly.
Those took about half the life or something instead of.
And my melee character would take all of it. My bandit character, so. Okay, so moving on here. All right, this is where I'm going to try and see if I can recreate the kind of questionable frame rate. Because down this way, we have a big enemy standing there waiting for us. And if you don't pay attention, we've got some enemies standing up there on the side.
Ooh.
And they like to throw firebombs, so see if I can trick them into throwing one. Yeah. Oh, they didn't hit, because if they hit these barrels here, that will cause a huge chain reaction, and this is where I've kind of had issues with, or one of the places I had issues with frame rate. Not doing too well hitting. I'm going to go ahead and throw a grenade myself, just to kind of... that's weird. Come on. Why are they not blowing up?
That's because it's not fire, is it?
It shouldn't be have too much to do with it. This is very strange. Can they stop throwing? No. This is weird. These the explosive barrels are not exploding. But this is one of the examples. Go ahead and try it at home if you get a hold of the game, where this huge explosion really did cause the game to almost, like, I saw a full second of frozen screen, and then it came back. And it wasn't...
All right.
Yeah, so it...
But that's the exception, luckily, more than the rule in the game.
The frame rate was not what determined my final score. That was just something I felt worth mentioning in my review. We got another sneaky guy over here. Ow.
I think we've got less than half an hour left. Perhaps
Okay,
we
so
should take a look at a higher level character on some of the other places, or what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I'm just gonna see. This guy's gonna get me now. Bang. All right.
You died.
Again, I made a bit of a mistake with my barbarian class because I didn't really pay attention when I created him. So I emphasized a lot of. I put a lot of emphasis on the strength stat to do stronger attacks. But from what I can read on the internet and also from the description, he's more of a bowman, actually.
Oh.
He starts with high dexterity.
Oh, so, okay.
But actually, I've got a pretty good balance now. I don't really use the bow a lot, but I'll definitely, if I'm able to continue playing with this character once I get a hold of the game myself, I'm definitely going to start focusing more on the bow. My strength is also up just so I can equip higher level heavy armor. So I'm going to go ahead and quit the game here.
But it's definitely one of the games, the kind of game that makes me want to explore.
Yeah.
It really feels like that.
And I'm really sad that it's not available on PS4. I would love to play it on the PS4 again, like seeing the screenshots, and if that's the case with the PC version. I mean, if they could bring it up to just that level, the game, and again, the whole fact that the architecture of the two PC and new generation of consoles are so similar, it shouldn't be too hard for them to do.
That's true.
But again, it has to be some kind of business decision. The install base isn't big enough for an already.
Could get lucky that they announce it at E3 or.
I mean, there
like
are petitions going on for them to kind of port it over from PC to the next generation. So we'll see. Maybe once PC releases, they kind of gauge, all right, how much is it going to cost us to put on PS4 and Xbox One, and they might realize, okay, then. And again, if they're working on it, they would kind of be shooting themselves in the foot, announcing it now until it's been released
exactly.
on current gen.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go.
That's probably the same with like GTA and stuff like that. I mean, they don't want to tell you it's out on next gen soon because they want to sell some copies as well.
Okay, so here I'm in a different area.
It's a turtle.
In a turtle gear, yeah. Again, that enemy that we actually saw hiding where I was trying to get the firebombs to set it off, it's kind of those characters' armor that I'm wearing, a very heavy armor. Again, it's kind of cool that pretty much all the enemies that you meet, if you play in the area long enough, you'll actually end up being able to equip the gear that they
Yeah, that's definitely a cool feature.
Okay, so right now I'm in my human form, I can tell from the full health bar and everything. So, just to kind of prove my point, I'm just going to fight this guy normally. See if I can remember how my fighting goes again.
So this is like a lot of hours into the game.
Yeah, this is like 30 plus hours into the game. And again, I'm not saying that another player couldn't get here quicker.
No,
but I took my time. And again, this is kind of like a side path I mean, some people might get here before I got here. I've probably cleared out more areas than others will have getting to this point.
So it's a long game as well.
Yeah, it's a long game. It's definitely a very open game on how you approach it. Okay, so let me see here. Because I've got this enemy down here, like the one I just fought. Again, you're going to watch your step. Don't want to fall down. But this guy here, from my playthrough, if I pull off... Oh, and I just messed it up because I just remember what I have to do. I need to actually... two-hand my weapon to do the extra damage, because he does have a nice... But I think there's a possibility of trying it again down here on another enemy. Just gonna use an Estus flask here. Again, you can tell now I have 2 Estus flasks. That's because I found items that actually allow me to upgrade at the woman who also levels me up. She can upgrade the Estus flask, that's why it has a +1. And also she can upgrade the number of flasks you can carry.
All right.
Oh, bad timing on that one. See, I've got a fairly strong character, you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like going this way is not the way I'm meant to be going, because you can tell all the enemies have their backs turned.
Yeah.
But again, I will hit a gate coming down here where the door is locked from the other side. So it's kind of meant like you'll go do a full circle, come back to where you start. You can unlock the gate and go back to the checkpoint so you can quickly get back into it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try two-handing it here. Sneak up on the guy. And here goes. I missed. Might be a little tougher than I thought to kind of prove my point with this whole stats thing. But hey, I'm going to go ahead and try it one more time, because I've got plenty of these homeward bones. So I'll use that. And it will take me right back to the bonfire. And then I can trigger the bonfire. I can give it another go with a guy a bit closer.
Well, we've only got about 20 minutes left. I'm just going to recap that we're playing Dark Souls 2 on the PlayStation 3, and you're using a PS4 controller that's connected with a wire because, well, simply you like that controller better.
I like the controller a lot better, yeah.
So if anyone is wondering if it's out on PS4,
no, it is just the controller. Okay, so...
And we're playing one of the stronger characters, actually the one you played for
the review.
Yeah.
So this is my level 51 bandit character, who is decked out like, I don't know, some kind of tank character, I guess. Oh, see, this guy here didn't respawn now. This might have been my 15th time killing this guy. But these guys down here I haven't killed quite as much, I believe, so I should be good with... Yeah, there he is. So again, put it in both hands.
Who is this? Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, or Leonardo?
I think it's Donatello with the stick, isn't it?
Clever, yeah.
He was always my favorite anyway. He was the smart one. Okay, so...
The Teenage Mutant Ninja
Whirlwind.
Turtles class, yeah.
And... I'm having trouble doing it. Okay, but again, it takes about 2 whirlwind attacks here to take them down. And if I die and go back, I'm going to go ahead and try it again and see if the same 2 whirlwind attacks will take them down. Because, again, that's my experience. And my girlfriend, who was who had to watch me play this for days and days, also is in agreement with me. She was witness to the fact that I wasn't killing them. It always left kind of a millimeter of health.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I used a human effigy, a combination of 2 of those hits and they were down. Let's see if I can do it here. And then,
almost.
And then, yeah, again, another whirlwind would have gotten him there. He was so low, because it takes like 70%, 75% of his health, if not more. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and move on because this is not the way forward. I'm going to fight some other enemies, and chances are I'm going to die here because, again, my stamina gets drained a lot quicker here because of my heavy equipment. So I'm going to have to be a bit careful here because these enemies don't come at you one at a time. I'm going to go in here carefully, so I just trigger a few of them at a time. Again, that's what you kind of learn from playing the game, is how to kind of attract the enemies, avoid kind of attracting too many of them at a time, because you can get swarmed. Oh yeah, you notice there as well my character being kind of knocked back. Or he might, that was because I had low stamina.
Ah, yeah, of course.
So that kind of leaves me vulnerable. Yeah, see, I'm getting...
Ooh.
There, they got me.
And this is about the only game where I actually love dying, because you died and you just feel like, yeah, that's what it's about.
Prison stone.
I don't think you have had any problems. Alfonso is writing, you prefer the PS4 controller, but have you also had problems with the rubber of the joysticks peeling off?
My own personal PS4 controller, I have experienced, one of them has started to get a bit of wear right in the center. I can kind of feel it with my thumb.
Okay.
But I've researched a bit, at least luckily in Denmark. With those issues, you are covered by the warranty, the shop warranty. So if you're experiencing it in Denmark, and I believe it's like that in most of Europe, take it back to the store and explain it, because Sony will reimburse the shop for it. So you can go and get a new controller, as long as it's within warranty. And also, I believe Sony have mentioned that they are looking into it and kind of
I know that,
improving the
coding or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I found I recently got a new PS4 controller, and feeling the rubber on the used, like the ones I've used for a few months, compared to the new one is like a huge difference. Like the new one grips like sandpaper, whereas the older one kind of starts feeling a bit more slippery.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll also address that.
But at least if they're going to change it with no cost for you in the shop so far, I mean,
yeah,
it's
the
a
word
decent
on the
solution
internet
at the moment. I know a Finnish editor had some problems with his smoldering away as well.
Yeah,
so.
I've seen the pictures. It looks horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I could still take him out, but it seemed like I did a slightly less damage there. Again, my experience was when I was all the way down to half health, so a lot of deaths. Also, I should say right now, I have a special item equipped, which is a ring that you really want to get a hold of quickly. It's called the Ring of Binding. And what it does is it reduces the death penalty to your health bar by half. So I won't go further down. Yeah, so I won't go further down than 75%, whereas others that don't equip it can go all the way down to 50. So if I unequip it now, the bar will go even further down than it already is.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and try these guys again. Okay. Come on, come get me. There we go. Oh, did I just miss one guy? No. Oh yeah, I might have pulled a bit too many of them this time. Ow. Whirlwind. Try it again. Seemed to work all right.
If the enemy disappears when you kill them enough, it must be hard to farm souls then.
Exactly, that's the point of it happening. It's the idea that in Dark Souls it was too easy to kind of farm the same enemies over and over, especially these big guys I've been killing. They give quite a decent amount of souls. But it is also possible to bring them back by using an expensive or hard to find item. I haven't come across it, but it is something that you have to burn on the fire and it will restore the area back to 0, kind of. You have another 15 goes.
So you can actually do it?
You can do it, but I think
in a way, but
I think
it's not easy.
it's more costly or harder to find the item than it's worth your time doing.
All right. It might be worth later on in the game. I mean,
if you're really stuck, yeah. But again, the fact that there are so many branching paths and so on, I've never found myself being totally stuck in the game.
that's a good point. Yeah.
In Dark Souls 1, there was definitely times I was like, oh, I can't take this boss now. I'm gonna have to farm, go back and kill the same 5 enemies, and ouch. And they don't stop hitting you even though you're down. Yeah. See, these guys are annoying.
Unfair.
And again, there is a boss fight coming right beyond these guys, which I've been so close to beat every time. I would love to be able to beat them during the live stream, because this is a special boss fight with more than one enemy. There's actually 3 bosses in one room. And I've gotten close. Actually, I should check out if I don't have a bow on me, because...
well, we've got 13 minutes left, so...
they're close. Just going to try and go ahead and equip a bow. Let's see, I've got this. This one's better. I can't use it effectively. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And then arrow-wise, I've got fire arrow and iron arrow. I'm going to take both of them. Again, you can equip several types of ammunition, switch them out on the go as well. So if I go ahead and equip this bow, unequip there. Actually, I should change that up. I shouldn't have my bow in my offhand. Remove it there and put it up here. But then, go ahead, bow. And then if I think it's, there is a button for it. I don't really remember which one it is. Oh, it might be, that's fire arrow. Okay, there we go. So L1 is your main and R1 is main and R2 is secondary fire. So I'm going to go ahead and just unequip it, save the arrows. Yeah, now that guy's gone as well. I can see my souls in there. Oh, I think I might have pulled them all again. I did all right last time. I like it that you can interrupt their attacks as well. It makes it a bit more fair.
Definitely.
Nope. Again, yeah, it can be annoying when you get stuck on barrels and stuff like that.
Which is why they're there.
Do I not have any? Yeah, I have my Estus flask here. Oh, I'm low on stamina here. I'll go ahead and do a heavy, if it will allow me to. Oh, gotta watch out.
Close. Don't die.
I'm kind of in a weird spot here where I need to dodge to avoid their attacks, but I need the stamina to attack them.
Yeah.
Oh, one down, okay. And this guy, he got tired of the fight and ran off. Great, I can heal up a bit with my Estus flask here. Just gonna check real quick if I don't have some crystals also. Nope, no crystals. I have a lot of other weird stuff though, but nothing really useful for me now. Again, these white sign soapstones and so on are used for the network features.
Yes.
You can put down a sign and other players can see it and kind of summon you to their world to help them out. Out of reach. Boom. Again, I don't know, it might be downstairs, an example of how evil the developers have been with this game. Ooh, a door. You open it and there's just a drop. Nothing down there. So yeah, again, you really want to watch out for where you go.
You don't want to be too relaxed and just walk around.
Nope.
I think everything is fine and dandy.
I'm going to try and get these guys in a surprise attack. Snuck up behind him here. Die. Almost got one of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a dangerous attack, the heavy one there, because it does expend all of that.
Oh yeah, stamina.
Yeah. And I'm not really regenerating well when I'm blocking, so I gotta... There's a lot of this in the game. It's kind of like move in, do the hit, move out, and you gotta kind of figure out your enemy, so...
But I like that. It feels way more tactical than a lot of other
It isn't just like
RPGs.
spam the attack button and... It's definitely not a hack and slash game, that's for sure. See, now I just picked up a Royal Swordsman helm, and these guys are the Royal Swordsmen, so...
That's what you said about being able to actually end up looking like your enemies if you want to.
Yeah. So, got a nice amount of souls here. Okay, so we got the boss fight coming up, and it's not going to go well. I'm going to say it right away because...
That's fine. We've got 8 minutes left, so we can
it's
end
gonna be
up
a good time.
dying.
I'm going to waste my Estus Flask here because...
You don't have time to do it in the game.
No.
Or in the fight.
Exactly.
No.
The fact that you can't move while consuming it. Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, we got 3 health bars. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's interesting. You start the fight on this little platform with this guy here. If he gets me, it's going to be annoying. So I need to remember my blocks do a decent job of actually blocking their attacks. But if I allow him to get anything in there...
Damn, he's tall.
Yeah. Oh, he got me. And you can tell the other two are on their own platforms. But actually, this is the first time I've stayed up on this platform long enough. I've actually gotten to the point where I got down to so little health, but then I took a wrong step, I fell off, and the 2 others were on me. And each of them have their own kind of whirlwind attack, so they were just constantly whirlwinding around.
Oh, damn it.
So you definitely want to take out that first one before you jump down and take down the other 2. And that's also why I brought my short bow, to kind of keep them at a distance and try and shoot them. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give my bow a bit of use now, because seeing as my character is a bow character, it could be a good thing against those...
Of course. And this is one of the examples of things not respawning right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why there's
Like
no
they
enemies
have a
coming
chance.
back. I've killed them 15 times. Again, it can be dangerous because then sometimes, oh, okay, I'm cool, I can just keep going.
Yeah, you're
And it's like-
thinking you've
and
got
there's-
everyone. And
You've only
then-
killed one of them 14 times and it's waiting for you. And these guys I've definitely not killed 15 times because they usually get the drop on me, especially in the beginning when I was trying to figure them out. But getting them out onto this little... I don't know if this is a good way of doing it. I don't think it is. I'm going to go back to tried and true. No. Leave me alone. Yeah.
I like the fact that it feels like a challenge when there's like 3 guys on the screen.
Exactly, and it really is. It is. You really have to figure out where to step and...
That's one of the things I liked. Well, it's a completely different game, but by The Last of Us, that you actually felt like whenever there were more than one enemy, you felt like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
It felt a bit more realistic in that sense. You're not just some Terminator that can go in and clear a room. And again, it seems like, and they've also said that, the developers, that they've worked on the AI for this game. So they do adapt a lot more to your moves, and they do try and get behind you if there's a group of them and everything. Again, see that guy jumped out of the way because he saw me kind of spamming the spear attack. All right, gonna use the same tactic as before and get up behind those other enemies. Although I don't think I will use my heavy attack there because it did drain me a bit too much. Again, that's also what's fun about this game is once you get to the point where you're right in front of the boss room, you're looking at your health like, I don't have full health. I don't want to waste my healing on this. I'm just going to go back and try again. You keep wanting to be that perfect run up until the boss, so you have as much of a chance as possible taking on the boss. Okay, that guy hurt. And that guy didn't even notice what was happening. That's good.
He's busy playing Candy Crush.
He had a friend though I forgot about. So
he was bent over, standing there with his mobile.
Oh no!
And by the way, that was not an ad for that game. I absolutely hate it.
I couldn't agree more. Those developers are the perfect example of a villain in a James Bond movie. The stories you read about them, you can almost see them saying $100 million or whatever. Okay, so gonna give this another go. This time I'm gonna be a bit smarter about it. Remember that blocking is my friend.
I'm going to say Doctor Who Legacy, since we're talking about this. If you ever need a freemium puzzler for any of the mobiles, that's a perfect game. It's super good, it's easy to get into, and it's got a bit of the Dragon and Puzzles, the Japanese game, where you actually fight some enemies as well. And you don't need to spend a penny at all on that game. I actually ended up buying a package because I felt sorry for the developer, because, I mean, you're never going to be able to make money on this game, but that's awesome.
Well, that's always the good thing about the free-to-play and freemium games is when you get to the point, it's like, I want to support these developers. They did a good job. Let me invest some money here. Okay, I can tell I'm not going to be able to finish these guys, but maybe just...
I think, I mean, we're basically ending the stream with a you died, you died, you died. So we sort of lived up to that. We've got 4 minutes left or something like that. So.
Well, and then maybe I'm just going to quickly jump into another area just to give an idea of a different style.
Yeah,
I'm not going to play through anything. I'm just going to get there
and
it's
not because we can't beat or you can't beat this guy. It's just because you want to show something else.
I want to show some dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah. But see, yeah, this area here, the tower apart, is pretty interesting too, which is the area that actually leads up to where I was just now, where you actually have to fight a mini boss to get to this area. So this isn't even the main path. This is just a side area.
Oh, great.
Or it's probably a main path in the sense that there's probably an item at the end of this that you need to kind of move on. But
again, it's open world, and you can't really.
It's definitely not following the main road getting here. But here you go. Here's very much an example of a very different kind of area.
Oh yeah.
We have these
again,
towers.
It looks gorgeous, I think.
And this area is accessible right from the beginning, but I don't think it's a good idea to go to because they're not here now, but there are these big enemies here. Especially if you just started playing, you see these big enemies from a distance, you know this is not for you yet.
This is a bad idea.
There should be one of them, or a couple of them. Yeah, there's one standing over there. Oh, yeah. There's these big towering knights. And it took me a while to figure out how to actually kill them. And again, 2 of them at the same time, it really takes some skills. So yeah, but definitely there's a lot of variation in the areas. There's forests, there's areas like this, there's underground sewers. Yeah. So
as I said before, I like this. I mean, whenever you have got those bright areas, it feels like an old oil painting.
Yeah, exactly. It really does. And I don't know if I can... Yeah, again, lots of variation. And also up there at the church, you can tell there's kind of a glow going on. That's also a boss room, a boss that I'm not able to take on yet at this point, which is why I went down to this tower, killed a mini boss down there, went up the stairs, found a checkpoint, and this is where I kind of got to move on to another area, which actually gives you access to, I think it's an underground cove where there are pirate zombies. So there's, again,
of course we need pirates and zombies. Yeah. Yes, yes.
So, yeah. I don't know how much time we have left now, or
I think
if there's any questions we need to pick up on.
At a point where we should just say thank you for watching, and remember you can watch Gamereactor live every weekday between 1600 and 1800 Central European Time. And we're going to be looking at, among others, Titanfall, Infamous, Second Son, and stuff like that in the coming week. And as you just know, we've been playing Dark Souls 2 on the PS3, and it's an amazing game. And that's it. Thank you for now.
Yep.
See you.